Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Great Friday. Happy to have you all here.
Hi, Shriram. Good evening.
Great, guys. Hope you're all doing good. Friday looks good. Fantastic. Hey, thanks all for joining here. And people on YouTube, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming up here. I know a bunch of you are preparing towards PMP, preparing towards ACP. All are good. And this is a good day, July 2nd. Something special today. Do anybody want to say that? What's special today? Something special today. What is a special?
Doctor say?
Okay. The speciality of today is PMI issued a new book, released a new book. Do anybody saw that? PMBOK has come as
Yes.
7th edition.
Oh, great.
That's quite interesting. Okay, I'm trying to mute most of you as I'm getting some background noise. This is 7th edition has come out. The moment 7th edition came out, people are so scared. What is going to happen? Do I need to jump out of the building? What I have to do? A lot of questions. Actually, nothing should happen. Nothing will happen. After 1 week, you will feel that, did I spoke too much for this? Kind of a feel you all going to get. So better reserve all your words, reserve all your conversations, just keep quiet, observe, move forward. That's it. Nothing more than that. PMI has a lot of reference book to read for the examination. In fact, they have 10 reference book. This may become one of that reference book. So no need to worry. I see a lot of them in the WhatsApp. They're confused. They confuse rest of 100 people around the world, telling that, oh man, book changed, exam going to change. I don't know who said to them. So they declare something on their own. They confuse 100 people. They love this. Okay, don't get to those trap. Better just keep quiet. As I say, reserve your words, reserve your conversations. Keep reading what you have. That's it. Okay. So this is PMBOK 7th edition. Is good with the content. Content is good and crisp and clear on certain areas. Certain areas, not clarity there. However, it will take some more time. We have to read this book, right? So we have to take some time to digest what they are telling here, how it's going to help us here. If you're not aware of what is PMBOK, what is exam content outline, recommend you to visit one of our video where I have explained about what is exam content outline and what is PMBOK book. If you understand that, chances are your confusion will go down. A quick information to you, the book releasing community is different, exam conducting community is different. Both are each different vertical in the PMI Institute. So they don't bother with each other. What is exam happening? What is book getting released? Book is a library. Book is a guide to explain and help anybody in the world to learn management. PMP exam is a small or different portion of their community which earns money for them. Big dollar PMI Institute get from this particular certificate, huge money. So that's a different department, that's a different department. Don't mix together, confuse to the core. Just leave as it is. If you get the copy of the book, go through that. Chances are you may get some content for your exam preparation. There you stop, right? Good. Once again, thanks all for being here. Good evening, good morning on the Friday. Fantastic. Great. One thing I was reading about leadership and people so good, achieving great. One interesting word popped up is called persistence. Persistence is one of the things which drives people towards a goal. So one interesting we found is in sports, persistence is very important. So only in sports, I'll say no. Any industry, we want a persistence. Specifically in sports. In sports, if you observe an athlete who is going to be in Olympics, maybe few seconds or maybe few minutes, they're going to perform on the ground. For that few seconds or few minutes, they have to be so persistent towards their goal and practice years. Some of you will be amazed to see that they practice for nearly 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, consistently to reach that. The only thing is they have a purpose. When there is a clear purpose, the persistence happens. To make a persistence to happen, you should consciously think that I'm moving towards this goal. Now, why I'm communicating this here? Many of us get driven away by Monday to Friday job. How many of you feel that this week just went on, Shriram? I don't know what productively I did for myself. Anybody here want to say that? Anybody here want to say that, man, I'm meant to feel what I did before that my day is gone. Somebody here? Okay. Oh my goodness. Many of them, yes. Okay. You will be surprised. It's not only you or me. There are hundreds and thousands of people. Could be job goers. It could be family man or family women or school going kids, college people. Everybody have this problem that Monday to Friday, I don't know what happens, goes on. By the end of Friday, you get tired, exhausted, you feel enough. That's okay. Whatever life is life, fine. I don't want to work more than this. If you feel like that, I'll tell you, look at the sports people, how they work. They have a purpose. A purpose means a goal, and they have a persistence. That's very important. Write down the word persistence, a bigger font, put on the wall, be persistent and work towards it. And I'll tell you, the fruits, what you're going to enjoy is amazing. Usain Bolt, what's a famous thing? 9.58, right? Or 8.58. I may be wrong. I think it's 9.58 speed in 100 meters, which is, he could have practiced 4 years, 8 years, right? It's a few seconds of performance on the stage, but that gives amazing result. So don't give up your hope. Keep working hard. I'm sure you'll get it. With this, we will jump inside. Okay, already somebody in the YouTube started. Do I need to read PMBOK 6 or PMBOK 7? Okay, if you join a little late, or if I'm communicating the message a little later, PMBOK 7 is a good book. Just now came in. Let's digest it. Don't jump the gun pretty fast. Be hold on. Whatever you have the book, keep reading. If PMBOK 7 is the only book to read, PMI will tell you upfront. If PMI has not declared anything, better focus on the books of PMBOK 6th edition, RITA 10th edition, participate in our weekly classes. Everything is going to be almost the same, no change. If any chapters are interesting in PMBOK 7th edition, I'm sure I'll let you know. I will definitely read the book fully. I will let you know, please read this chapter, will help you. Like in Agile Practice Guide, I keep telling read chapter number 3 and chapter number 4. Why? I know that this area exam will ask questions. Same way, in PMBOK 7th edition, if I find chapter number 8, chapter number 11, something is interesting, I'll let you know. You can start reading. For now, read what is given to you. That itself a ocean. First you complete that, then we'll think about other content. Great, thanks for the good questions. I know the anxiety is very high, which one I have to read. That too, you know what, after seeing 1,000 pages in PMBOK 6th edition, when 7th edition comes with a 380 or 390 pages, people feel excited. Wow, very less. I will tell less is dangerous. Always read in depth. That's very important. Okay, with this, we'll jump inside. Can somebody confirm me audio and my video is good before I even bring up the content today? All good. Fantastic. Thanks for confirming. So today we're going to talk about something on the agile side. What we are doing in ShriLearning. What we're doing is every week we're trying to cover a subject and take some Q&A, make you feel connected with the subject. You may be PMP certified, preparing for PMP or Agile ACP or Scaled Agile, or you don't prepare any certificate. You just come here, listen the content, maybe it's useful for interviews. That's how we are managing this. And apart from this, our regular students will go for weekly classes. So start participating in more programs. Why we need this, Shriram? Do we need to do all this thing? Human being is a social animal. I don't know how many of you read this in your school days. I read this in 5th or 6th grade or 4th grade. We need to be in a community which work towards winning in life. We have a lot of community, a variety of reasons of community. This is one interesting community which you are belonging now, which is going to help you to show that you can achieve something in your life. So be part of this, which will give high energy. I know there is a crazy demand for good leadership and management team in the world. Job opportunities are pretty high, but it goes to only the qualified and very talented people, not for normal person. So if you want to be talented, qualified, you have to be with the like-minded people. The word persistence, pretty important. Okay. Can I expect good persistence from you going forward? Will you show persistence on what you are? Anything it may be, good habit, food habits, eating, sleeping, exercise, reading, growing, be persistent. Fantastic. Fantastic. One word, if you want to note down today, I will tell, go be persistence. That's nice. Life is not easy all the time. With toughness. If you watch out, I was in office calls till now. I just came out. Life is that's how. Keep working. Super. Thanks a lot for all your commitment. I appreciate it. So now what we'll do is we will jump inside the subject. So today, what's the topic? Definition of ready and definition of done. Is it a new topic, Sriram? I will tell no, it's not the new topic. It's a topic available for a long time. So what is this all about? So what I'm going to talk about here is purely on the Agile side. In Agile, we have a way of working. What is this way of working? Now, we need to know that how things are moving, say it at the team level, at the project level, at delivery level. We have various areas to watch out. Is it really ready to do? Is it ready to say completed? Some stuff are there. Let's give a little pass and see what we are doing. Okay, we are project managers, or scrum masters, or servant leader, team leader, going to be a team leader, junior resource, maybe anything. You may be a mom, you may be a dad, you may be a son, you may be a daughter. Some or other thing you're doing in your life regularly. People respect the people who do it perfectly. I believe you agree. If I have a carpenter in my place, the carpenter who does a good job, well furnish it and clean the floor after the work got completed, and do pack out everything and submit the proper bills and get climbed out and go home, I respect this carpenter. I'm sure my lifelong I will call the same carpenter even though he or she makes one or two mistakes. That's fine for me because I have seen their work. I know they are very persistent again on what they do. Now, we live in a world of management. We live in the world of projects around us. You like it or not, projects are around us. Now, what happened is in 30 or 40 years back, we were so much clear on the requirements to start the work and deliver it. We call this predictive approach. Even today, we have a lot of projects going predictive approach. However, it is from 1970 and 1980, a flavor of agile or adaptive nature started coming into picture. In fact, 1956 it started, 1970, 75 picked up, 80 it shooted up high. That is the time we started getting Scrum, Kanban, or extreme programming. 1993 it shooted up high. And 2000, Agile came into picture, 2001. Now it's almost 20 years gone. Most of us either not born or we were in the school days when these things are all happening. Okay. Now, what's the point of discussion, Shriram, today? The point is we are talking about how the project management can work in an adaptive world. I'm talking little on predictive. I'm talking little on adaptive. When you go to exams of PMP, what happens is they're not going to tell you, hey, these are all predictive questions. These are all adaptive questions. They may going to mix it. So, Shriram, how to learn in the mixing way? First of all, you should have clarity on individually what it is. Only then, when somebody mixes it, you will understand it. Right? It's something like a musical thing, classical, Western. You should know what is classical, what is Western. Only when they mix it, you'll know this is that. If you don't know individually what it is, if you try to put a hybrid, it won't work. I see many of them are struggling hard. Where to read a hybrid? Where to read a hybrid? You don't need to search for a hybrid. Read these two properly. Hybrid will work automatically. In that order, what I'm trying to help you today is I'm going to talk something on the agile and hybrid model, adaptive model, called as definition of ready and definition of done. There are two concepts being discussed in agile. Why we discuss this concept? These concepts are discussed to make something called empowerment. Sure, what is empowerment? Team empowerment is highly expected in agile project where what you see in the picture, these are knowledge workers. I believe most of you attend our classes, must be aware. As Peter Drucker talks about the knowledge workers, who knows what to do. So the point here is when somebody knows what to do, you cannot drive them, you cannot force them, you can only empower them. Okay. I'll tell you, even if you go to PMBOK 7th edition, the first topic, maybe you'll read about empowerment. I'm yet to read the book fully, but I'll tell you, if you read 7th edition, going forward, all over the world, it will be only the word called empowerment. You have to empower your children. You have to empower your spouse. You have to empower your maid. They'll use always these words. The world is like this. Something they find interesting, they'll use it for 30, 40 years. Then they'll get bored with it, throw it out, again, another concept. Don't think this is a concept going to live 100 years. For now, it's interesting. Okay, now it's interesting word is empowerment. Now, what happened is this team to be empowered, what it means, they can do on their own. If they can do on their own, somebody cannot drive them or tell them, hey, you have to do this. So what to do now? Now, team has to come to the conclusion. It's called shared understanding. Again, another term, right? From empowerment, I came to share understanding. What is shared understanding? Team has to understand within them, hey, when I can start the work? Hey, when I will tell it's completed. So it is not the project manager going to come and tell, now start. It's not the project manager coming to tell, now it's over. It is a team themselves going to tell, when these all good, I will start the work. When these all completed, I am done. Okay. If anybody working in Agile for some time, you will be aware of it. Somebody coming from a non-Agile, you will feel, what is happening here? I thought manager has all the authority to do the things, but what's happening here? I'll talk another session about what is a manager and a servant leader. But for now, let's take this concept called ready and done. Two things are there. So what I'll do is, let's go a little more deep and make this interesting session. Okay, here is a picture. First, to give an idea about how a sprint or iteration works, and then I'll tell you where this DOR and DOD will fit in. So DOR, definition of ready, and DOD, definition of done. I'm going to show you how and where it is going to fit in. First thing, let's understand about sprint or a scrum, sprint or iteration. This is a terminology most of you aware of, some of you may not be aware. Some of you don't have an opportunity in your corporate to use this. It's okay, read it now. 3-4 years later, it will be your day-to-day job. One day it's going to happen. The world is changing, so we have to slowly move towards it. Now, point is, there is something called a sprint or iteration. Very good. Now, what happened is, it's a short timeline. Shriram, what is a short? By the word short, the Agile book says that it can be 5 days, it can be 10 days, it can be 20 days, or even it can be 15 days. So what it means? It means either 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. A team going to join together and work for 5 working days and find out a common goal and achieve it. Simple, simple. Find a common goal. What is a goal to achieve? 5 days they're going to work together. Knowledge workers. Nobody has to drive them. They know what to do. 5 people or 10 people join together for 5 days, achieve something. Usually in the current trend, last 4 or 5 years or another 6 years, what will happen is we'll use something called 2 weeks sprint. For now, it looks interesting. Today is Agile. Tomorrow, somebody will bring Agile. That time it will become some other days. See, basic understanding is we want to bring some set of people together, think towards a common goal, achieve it. In sports, is very common. Hey, there is a match going to happen. Today, semi-finals between Brazil and Germany. Semi-finals. Brazil and Germany, they're going to play 1.5 hours. Okay, in 1.5 hours, these many players, 11, 22 players, substitutes, all going to be here. They know the target. They know how many hours they're going to play. They'll be very adaptive in nature. A player injured, another player will come inside, right? Or some goal getting highly happening, they'll bring another defense person inside. So they keep working out on the team proportion, move forward. That's in sports. Here, we are going to work out on a plan, very short term. At the same time, we'll be very clear on what goal to achieve. So I don't want to jump too deep inside because that's not the scope of this discussion. But just a highlight for you, a sprint, I'm assuming here it's a 10 days of sprint, which is a 2 weeks, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. In this timeline, team is going to achieve some goal. And they do that in a sprint planning. and they achieve it in a sprint demonstration. I started on day 1, day 10, I completed. This is what's going to happen. To achieve this, every day we'll have a stand-up meeting called daily stand-up. Grooming is for upcoming backlog refinement things. Let me not go there. Why I took this picture, I'll tell you. An agile team works like this consistently, 10 days. Every day they meet and talk what they need, what they can do further. Any blockers, they keep talking. Now, the point of the discussion is I want to bring inside these two concepts called DOR and DOD. That's why I brought this topic. Okay. Now, DOR, the definition of ready means I'm going to pick up some work which is ready to do. Sure, what is ready to do? There is a difference between some work half-baked to start, some work well-defined to start. Slightly look like predictive nature. Are you talking about WBS? Likely it smell like WBS, but not totally WBS. In WBS, we'll go breakdown structure, we'll go bottommost level, understand the activity, well clear, then you start the work. It's not up to that level. But here, we have something called product backlog. A collection of requirements will be there, which is maintained by the product owner, the customer representative. This person, along with the team, going to refine something to make sure it is ready. Underline the word ready. It means right now I can start the work. That kind of work, we're going to pick it up. Only then I can sit and do something called planning. If I don't do that, what will happen is if I take a half-baked work, Shriram, what is half-baked? The work is not properly elaborated. The work does not have identify the dependencies. The work does not have proper acceptance criteria. When this clarity is not there, if I take that half-baked work, in this 10 days of time, let's say 4th day, my team member will put the hands up. Shriram, I got a work and I feel that I need some more details. When they'll ask 4th day. If a 4th day, this guy is going to ask, I have to collect the detail. It will consume another 3-4 days. And on the last day, I will tell him, sorry, man, I can't complete it. Can I move to another sprint? Can I move to another sprint? It's because I didn't get the detail. I'm going to ask some of you in this group, even though you are an agile team, are you seeing this situation happening in your project? Since because some work not properly got clarity, it is jumping sprint after sprint like a small monkey. Have anybody seen it? Have anybody observed it? All the time. Okay. Okay, good. That's nice. Most of them, right? Even though we call agile team, it happens. To our surprise, many of them took agile as take it for granted. I know Shriram from childhood, I know how to eat. From food taken here, I'll have it here. Nobody has to teach me, right? That's fine. Food is fine because you're very hungry, you know, you have to eat it. Agile also, people took it very easily. Agile means every day you have to stand and talk. There will be something called board we have to work, right? It's happening as a mistake. But agile, even though lightweight, you need to follow the norms and conditions. That's what I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to teach something very interesting today called as DOR and DOD. I will tell you, when you go to any interview in the world in management, use these two terminology and tell that because of this, I can make my project team to deliver on time. I'm sure you will interview, you will get at least 5 bonus points. Cling, you know, in the games, it will jump, you will hit some dollar and cling, cling. That cling moment will happen with these 2 points. But don't bluntly tell, I know what is DOR. It is called definition of ready. Not like that. It should be something, as I put in the early, empowerment, shared understanding, and bringing to the performance oriented. My team, or if I take a project, I can show better performance by making the team to understand DOR, DOD perfectly, so that when they take a work, they deliver it on time, my customer is satisfied. When my customer is satisfied, my team is good and we work efficiently. Something like that, if you can present an interview, they'll feel, I love that, right? Anyway, stories are a lot there. What I do is I just give a head now. Let me go a little more inside the body. Here it is. I want to start with the definition of ready. I showed that image, the previous one, to show you where the definition of ready will be there. I'll show definition of done in some time. First, let's go for ready. Now, definition of ready. Okay, you see a picture here. Okay, let me understand from you. What do you get out of this picture? People from India, you may feel a little hungry. It's 8:30 p.m. IST. But what do you get out of this picture now? Any thoughts popping up in your mind with the term called definition of ready? Let's see how this analogy connects. Do anybody feel anything out of it when you see this picture? Cutting veggie to make the food to be prepared. Swamita, clearly segregated items to cook. Fantastic. All RM is there. Cooking containments making ready. Fantastic. Let me see YouTube. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing people are connecting. People are connecting the dots. Okay, connect this picture with the definition of ready. Ingredients are clear. Fantastic. Good. Okay, thanks a lot. I believe you got the point, what I want to convey. Okay, point here is, why I put this is, food item is an interesting area. Nobody can tell I don't like food. We live and survive with the food. Let's go by the food itself. I'll take the morning hours. Morning 6 to 7 o'clock is generally a time. In family, people wake up and get to the cooking area. Maybe your kitchen or cooking area. They'll open the refrigerator, pick up some pack of items which is there in the refrigerator, and keep it all on the table. What it means is, he or she who is going to cook that morning or for the day knows that what all needed for that day of cooking. So what happens is they pick up all the ingredients, equipments, utensils, of course, other gas or could be of micro one. They make everything ready before even they start the work. Have you observed it, or have you done it in your home? Is it happening there? Have you seen that? If you've seen that, it's nothing but we are making ourselves ready to do an operation, to do a project efficiently. The goal is to cook a breakfast. Could be dosa, chapati, could be burger, could be pizza if you are from Italy. So now you are going to do something. For that, you are making things ready. Shriram, is ingredients getting ready is something different. I don't want to map one-to-one here, but I want to give an idea. Before even we start the work, we have to know what this work all about. So 3 points you have to keep in mind in Agile. Very clear detail of what I'm going to do. If I take a feature, I have to know full, complete information of that feature, or I should know the detail of the user story in detail. What's the benefit of knowing that, Sriram? What's the benefit of knowing that? The benefit of knowing that is it's going to be clear cut what we want to achieve, because we have to set a goal. I'll come to that point. Now, definition of ready is going to help you to be very clear, concise. When I say concise, brief, and easy to observe. In the name of clear, you cannot be so lengthy. You should be straight on the line what it is needed, and also actionable. This is very important. The definition of ready is going to make you more actionable to what to do. Before I break the suspense of this, I'll tell you that definition of ready, it's a kind of a guidelines. It's a kind of a norms and rules followed by the team. Before I start something, I would make sure these bullet points are taken into consideration. That's called definition of ready. Now, keep in mind the word. Whenever you go to PMP or ACP exam or any interview, keep in mind empowerment, shared understanding. Really? Yes. I will also tell another word, use the word diversity. Diversity of knowledge, not diversity of gender thing, diversity of knowledge, right? Diversity, empowerment, shared understanding. These are the words picked up in the market in interview. Okay, coming back here. So definition of ready is going to give awareness of what all to be there to start the work. But how to happen? It will happen between the team members. Management cannot force on people. So team should have a knowledge. So, okay, by this vegetables or food getting ready, give an idea. Before you cook something, you have to have this. Now, point here is, do I need to do every day, or it's once in a while you define this ready? In Agile projects or project management, they define it once and they'll update it in every retrospective. When I say once, when the project is going to start, we will write definition of ready. What we will write, I'll tell you here. First, I'll give some more clue what I want to mean here. If you watch it here, it's something like this. The definition of ready is helpful to reduce risk. If you have a paper pencil next to you, please write down. DOR is going to reduce the risk of being unable to finish the realization of user story within a sprint. I don't want to read the line and give a definition for you. Rather, I want to tell you, you are bringing down the probability of failure. Are you with me? If I know what I want to do, I'm bringing down the probability of failure. Let's take example of your PMP exams. If you want to go to PMP exams, you have a definition of ready before you getting there. What happens is it reduces the probability of your exam losing, right? So now that is for one person, you taking PMP exam, but imagine 5-6 people working towards a common goal. We need a common understanding. What's the terminology here? Shared understanding. Oh my God, again, it's coming, right? Shared understanding. Now let's go a little more deep. Now, what's a little more deep here? If you watch it here, what does it means to ready? Defined clearly enough that all members of the team, look at the word all members of the team understand what must be done. That's important as one of the bullet point, right? Includes a team development, tasking, all the stuff. Includes clear statement of resulting business value. Why we do this? What's the business value we're going to achieve? Include any required enabling or specs, wireframes, detail. Keep in mind, these are all full of details. How detailed you are. I want you to give you one interesting thing which you may like. In a definition of ready, there is something called invest model should be followed for the user story. Shriram, what is invest model? Do we need to invest money? No. Invest stands for independent, the work what we are going to take. The work should be negotiable. The work should be valuable. The work should be estimatable. The work should be small in nature to deliver it. The work should be testable. If you meet all, it's called INVEST, invest. A user story in Agile project follows a method called invest model. When you write something in invest model, that is a user story which you can pick right now, start the work. It's independent, no dependency there. It is negotiable. It is valuable. If it doesn't add value, why you would define it? You don't need to define it at all. Now, the definition of ready talks about when I want to pick up a work, that work should meet these criteria. Why? Again, middle of the sprint, I don't want my team to say, Shriram, I have a work. Can you explain a little more? Little more is fine. But they say middle of the work, no, Shriram, I don't have a clarity. I don't think I'll complete it now. It's a waste of time. In work in progress, if you know Kanban, WIP, work in progress, any work stalled, any work waiting is a waste of time. In lean management, if you go to lean books of study, they talk about work in progress or any unwanted work getting stuck there is a kill of time, kill of money. So point here is, if you know, do the work. If you don't know, don't start the work. Is it easy? Not easy. That's why they're putting for the team empowerment to understand this. Okay, are you getting some clarity before I show example of definition of ready? I'm going to show example for you. Are you getting some clarity? Okay, let's see here. Some examples. Okay, examples. What I want to show you is I'm showing two examples here. One is definition of ready for a sprint. For a sprint, the 10 days or 20 days of time, definition of ready for the user story and some work item. Okay, first let's see something that bullet points for sprint. If you want to tell a sprint is ready to start, what all should be there? The sprint backlog is prioritized. Already the backlog is properly done. Then only you can start the sprint. The sprint backlog contains all defects, user stories, or other work that need to be done. No hidden work. You agree this? How many of you suffering because of this? Please be honest. The last 5 years, hidden work. Suddenly a management comes in between and injects something. Have you seen this? Middle of the work, they'll come and tell, why don't you do this also? Why don't you do that also? Have you faced this in the last 5 years? Abruptly coming and injecting hidden work. You will be surprised why this guy didn't tell me early. I would have planned it, right? Many times we felt it. We felt it 5 years back. Today we are doing that. Be honest on that. Sometimes you become a manager, you too do the same mistake. The reason is we didn't come with a common understanding of definition of ready, where we be very precise and clear. This is what we're going to do for that duration of time. I'm not telling the whole project, a whole year. I'm talking about that time which you're going to do, right? Pretty important. By the way, thanks for all putting the chat messages. Quickly, I'll help you that part. Okay, coming back here. Now, what happened is all team members have calculated their capacity before the sprint starts. Okay, full time on project, number of hours, all stuff. All user story meet definition of ready. All user stories meets a definition of ready. What is the definition of ready? Maybe invest model to be followed. How many of you remember invest? Just now I mentioned to you. Do you know I? What is I? Let me see your memory power. What is your I? I say invest model. I, what I say? Independent, fantastic. All right. Okay, there is something called INVEST. Let me talk about last two letters, S and T. What is that? Ooh, last two letters, S and T. What is that? Small and testable. Fantastic. The chat message running good. Thanks. Let me see YouTube. Okay, Vignesh, I'm seeing your question. I'll come to your question sometime. Okay, good. Okay, keep going. So now point here is a sprint to be called ready. To start a sprint, this is basic. But Shriram, is it a hard rule? Every company should follow the same. I will say no. This is up to your company or up to your project team. In your company, there are 5 teams, imagine. Each team can have their own definition of ready. But believe me, more or less, all will be equivalent. What is that? There is no specific science here, right? It's all understanding. A backlog should be ready. Team should have proper user stories defined. Capacity should be properly understood. So imagine that's a Christmas holiday season. We have only 2 people in the team. Can you plan all the user story? Obviously, no. You should know with the 2 people how much you can do. A minimal amount of work. Your velocity will drop down. That's okay. That should be understood. You cannot be blind enough to tell last time we did 40 velocity. This time we should try at least 35. But you have only 2 people. What do you do? You should know those factors before you start the sprint. It's basic, right? More than this, on the right, there is something interesting I'm going to talk, which is on definition of ready for a user story. And this is a place people struggle to the core. Why they struggle? Sure, you have a product owner from the customer side. You have a scrum master. You have a team members. And I don't understand what's the problem here. If you ask me, the first problem, I'll tell you what it is. User story defined. I'll tell you in this room, many will agree with me. Many times my user stories are not properly defined. It is written just like that. Somebody found this can be a story. This is type some English words. They feel that some comma, some paragraph will become English words. Putting all the English words, they think this is a user story. How many of you face this problem? In the name of user story, your company business analyst or product owner will be killing you writing something and start the work. If that's happening, there is a mistake. So proper user story definition is important. And top of that, acceptance criteria. Can somebody tell me who will give you acceptance criteria for a user story? Can somebody tell me? Acceptance criteria, who will give it? Probably product owner. You can also add it. As a team also you can add it, but majority contribution will be with whom? Product owner. Interesting, right? So now your user story should be properly defined, have an acceptance criteria, dependencies identified, sized properly. Only when you have the definition, dependency, size can happen properly, right? If not, it won't be sized properly. User experience, UX, artifacts are done, UX is properly ready. Team has reviewed the user story, right? Team knows what it will be mean to demo the user story, how to demo this. From the start to end, you should know for a story before you pick up from the backlog. If somebody don't know what is backlog, if you're new to the system, first time you're listening our videos, backlog is nothing but a collection of requirements in Agile terminology. It's a stack of information, what all to be done. In the bottom, you'll be having not well-defined work. In the top, you have well-defined, also the priority will be high, right? Now, point is here, you have a collection of things, but don't think These all work done by only one role like product owner or a team member. It's a collective effort. Definition, collective. Acceptance criteria, collective. Dependencies, collective. Sizing, collective. Team experience, collective. If you find a certain team, again the word empowerment, shared understanding. If you understand these two terminology, you will answer a lot of questions in Agile, in PMP and ACP. Now coming back. So a project is starting. Let's imagine there is a travel agency who want to do a new software for which or application or some technology they want a new to be done. Now what to do? The team of people sit and talk. When we meet these bullet points, the team will start the sprint. When we meet these bullet points, then only the team will pick up that user story. If not, this user story will not be picked up, right? So that's understanding the bring. It's called definition of ready to kickstart the things, right? Okay, can I assume you got some idea on definition of ready? Meantime, I'll take a couple of questions here. Lavanya says, product owner is not technical person. Can development manager define? Of course, can be, but again, PO plays a major role. PO knows that what is the outcome of this particular feature, if not at the story level, at least at the feature level. They should know, right? If I used to give the same example of a banking operation. In a banking operation, two-way authentication. Of course, a product manager may not know what are the acceptance criteria for two-way authentication, but the end goal is it should protect the data. It should have a two level of authentication happening. The result should be something like this. This, I don't think you need a technical knowledge. You need a domain knowledge to make that happen, possibly. Baljinder is putting, what is user story sized mean? Okay, if you have observed some of our classes, we spoke about story points. If you heard about the story points, we spoke in the classes, that's called sizing the stories. Ashwini is asking, can we consider user stories as requirements from product backlog? Of course, Ashwini. In a product backlog, you will have features, you will have user stories. Of course, they are part of requirements for the project. Good question. Okay, there is a question from YouTube. Vignesh is asking, how DOR DOD is mapped in team charter? Is it subjective or key sets of checklist? Okay, team charter talks about the team's abilities, their habits, their rituals, their belief system. There, we no need to inject this project related as a good advice. As a good advice, the DOR DOD is project specific. Let it be there. Team charter can be a common for the team to have their cultural and their belief system. We shouldn't mix it up, because DOR DOD is a guidelines how to do a project. Team charter is a belief system between them, how to handle the conflict, how to do empowerment, as I said earlier, how to do good negotiation, how to follow the timing system within them. That's different. This is different. We shouldn't mix both. Hope that helps you, Vignesh. Fantastic. Let's go some more depth. Okay, let's jump to DOD. Okay, I assume DOR, you got some idea before starting the work. Now, I showed you a line, green line, a sprint is running. A work, a well-defined work is going to be DOR. Now, when you pick that work, you are confident it is using the invest model. It is having a clarity. I can complete the work on time. Now let's go to the word called complete. It is on the 10th day of the sprint. When the 10th day of the sprint, a work is called as completed, it should meet certain criteria. When this meets all the criteria, we use a word called done. Done. What do you mean by done? It's over. Done. That's it, right? After done, you should not put comma, done, but right, it shouldn't work like that. So what is that? Let's see those terminology. When you see here, the DOD is an agreement. Look at the word agreement again. Agreement. Can somebody tell me, when I say agreement within the team, I use two terminology in the beginning of the class. What is that? Tell me one other term. What is that? Agreement means something starting with a yes, something I mentioned a few minutes back. Can somebody make a guess out of it? I said agreement means empowerment, or what do you want? Shared understanding. Fantastic. Answers coming. Swami, Kiran, rocking. Good. Super. I appreciate the understanding. The point is, it's going to be a shared understanding. What do you mean by shared understanding here again? Again, what I'm doing here is I'm going to find out a common agreement within the team about the criteria which must be met before user story is considered done. Certain bullet points you have to cover, then only I will call it as completed. Then only I will tell it as done. If these criteria are not met for the user story, it will normally consider as not finished. You will tell Shriram, a user story, I have done 98%, man, 2 more percent. If you give me 1 more day, I'll do it. No. 10th day, even you completed 98%, 2 more percent pending, you cannot ask for extension because it's called time box. If you cannot do that in that time, that work will go back to the product backlog. Again, we will find what is the best time to do that. Then the product owner picks up, then you do the work. If not, it should be properly completed 100% usable form. Then it becomes done. Now, why the picture here? This is one of the favorite example I keep giving most of the classes. I'm talking this for a while because I come across this, right? I would have said this. When I want to give my car for a service, I give it, okay? And these people, I'll give the car by the morning 9 o'clock because they'll tell that, sir, if you come beyond 9:30, we won't take the car. So I have to be there by 8:45 when the gate is opening. My car should be the first car running inside. Okay, out of that 10-15 cars they pick up for the service that day. That time they'll be very clear. Evening, they will tell that 6 o'clock we'll shut down the service center. So collect the car a little early. Okay, that's the situation. Being an IT professional, for us, evening is busy in India. In the evening, 5 to 8:30, any IT guy cannot come out. It will be pretty busy. But these guys will tell that, but you have to collect it by 6 o'clock. Okay, one day we can ask for permission from the work and move out. This guy will give a call by 5 o'clock, sir, car ready. Observe, car ready. You will take a cab or something and you reach that center because you don't have a car. Car is there already. You go there by 5:15. You will tell, is car ready? Let me pay the bill, take the car. They will tell, so hold on. They're just doing wheel alignment. Man, you just call me and said car ready. What do you mean by that? Sir, ready, but wheel alignment is happening. After wheel alignment, wiper change is happening. After that, cleaning should happen. Please sit in the lobby and watch some movies in the TV. We will quickly get it. You'll be surprised if you experience the same. All right, it's a craziest experience. I always seen that. Of course, I didn't go for service last 6 months, but always I experienced this and I felt what they mean by definition of done. Where is your done? If you say something is completed, it's completed. Over, full stop. There should not be a comma, right? Now, if you say put a comma there, it is going to bring out the confusion. And to arrest that confusion only, we have something called definition of done, telling that only when the car is fully wheel alignment, washing, everything is completed, ready for billing, pick up the phone, call to them, the car is ready. By 6 o'clock, you cannot do that. It's not there. You cannot sit and work till 8 o'clock. Do any other service center guys sit and work 8 o'clock? 6 is a 6. Billing system will close and go home. And they'll tell, we'll give the car tomorrow. That is what in Agile, if you have a time box, that's a time box. Beyond that, work will not be extended. If they do that, that model will start competing with the predictive model. Agile model means time boxing. All right. Pretty interesting. Let's move a little more. I will bring some more topic for you. Meantime, Sumita is putting a question. What if we need 1 or 2 extra days to complete the work? And it is important, will you add it along with the next sprint with another user story? Even though it's important work, if it is not completed there, nothing can be done. It will go back. Then the 10th day evening, there is something called retrospective. There they talk about why we did not estimate it properly. Every 10 days, they talk about what made us not to estimate properly. Even though you know it's important work, how do you estimate it with a lesser time? How do you improperly manage it? 1 or 2 times you learn that lesson, 4th time you won't do the mistake. This is the beauty of Agile. They keep reviewing and retrospecting themselves to correct it. Yep. If it is urgent, still you cannot extend it. Over is over. That's it. Let me go back. Okay, definition of done. So what is definition of done here? We saw definition of ready in the beginning. Now we have to see the done, right? A user story, when you call as a definition of done, what happened is a story which is developed, it means created, properly documented, and user acceptance testing tested. When all complete, it's called done. If not, you cannot call it as completed. Because somebody developed the work doesn't mean it's completed. Many developers think this. Many software developers think that only the development is over, they think it's over. No, after that, have a minimal document of what is needed. After that, test it. Then you can tell it's called done. It means it has a full cycle of working. How about a release, Shriram? A first release will be deemed done when alpha is replaced and there is no priority one defect. If one release goes well, there is no defect. When you know when there is no defect, at least usage of few customers, right? Some customers use it, they come to know the usage is good, no bug in the system. Then it is called completed. Just because you promoted to a production environment doesn't mean it's completed. Somebody has to tell no defect that it's working well. Final project. What is final project? Done for the final project, high and medium priority features and implemented. There are 2 months of trouble-free. Without trouble-free something working, then you call done. Don't call done before that, right? Something which is dangerous. So who defines this? Team defines this, but it comes to release and project level, upper management will do. Don't think that team will do. Team may have ideas and user stories. They may have ideas and features, but not at the release level. Release level goes to senior project manager or project managers will do that. Example of definition of done. So what are the examples? If you see the example here, you can see definition of done. Project builds without error, no error, something is working. Then you can call it as a done. I mean, when you meet all this thing, then only you can pronounce the word done. Don't pronounce the word done like a car service guy before completing a wheel alignment just because engine has been serviced. This guy pick up the phone, sir, you can pick up the car, it's a done. When you come there, only they start doing other points. That's not the case. You have to complete all, then only pick up the phone. If not, don't pick up the phone, put the phone down. Your sprint time box is over. Do it tomorrow, hand over. Today, sprint is over, right? That's it. The guy will call you, scold you, write a bad Google review. You have to accept it. It's your mistake. If you agree to deliver it today, you have to. If not, it's your mistake. It means your estimation is wrong. The morning, the service guy took the car, says that, sir, we'll do in 4 hours. It's a wrong. If you know it will take 8 hours, tell them right away it will take 8 hours, or I will update you later after analyzing it. That should have been done. Abruptly, you cannot tell 4 hours it will be done. And evening, the service customer calls, you say, sir, the car is still not ready. It's a mistake, right? So definition of done meets without error. Unit tests written and passing properly. Project deployed on the test environment. QA perform. Feature is tested. Feature okayed by product owner accepts it, right? Documentation updated. By the way, can somebody tell me what they mean by product owner accepted? What testing is this? Kind of UAT, kind of acceptance testing, kind of, right? It could be the next level where the customer sees the product accepted. So it differs company to company, project to project, what all bullet points you want here. There is no hard rule. This is what you have to follow. But point here is when something comes out of the team, that should be usable form. That should be having some value. If it doesn't have value, no point in doing that work, right? Like you see here, many people think after the washing the clothes, it's over. No, when the dress is ready, it is properly washed, dried, and ironed, and put on your rack, put on your wardrobe. That's called DoD, definition of done. Like this, you cannot tell it's done. Can I use it? No. Maybe I can use it, but it's not the form what I want. When I say done, it should meet all these criteria. Who defines it? Team defines this. Why team defines this? Empowerment. What is empowerment? Shared understanding. Are you getting the points? Very good. I hope you're getting the points. Ashwini is putting a point there. Shriram, sprint review and retrospective same. I believe, Ashwini, you missed a major portion of our Agile classes. I wish you attend one of our session. Seems it's very important. Review means showing a demonstration to the customer, right? That's a different. You show a demonstration of what we completed. That's a review with the customer. Retrospective, the English word is looking back, what all we did. Is there any areas where we can improve ourselves going forward? Retrospective. Every year on December 31st, some people do retrospective. Last year, what all good and bad I did. From January 1, I'll be like this. That's going to be the next step, right? Cool. But I welcome you, Ashwini, to join some of our Agile classes to listen through. Good. Great. Once again, I'll recap some stuff here before I go to the Q&A. Let's connect here. If you watch it here, I bring up the same point, DOR, DOD. Does it make a sense? If I want to do something in 10 days, time boxed, do I need to be very clear on what work I'm picking up? Do I need to be very clear on what means by work completed? Do you think it's a sensible and needed? If I don't do this, you cannot complete in 10 days. You will start prolonging because you don't have a clarity of what work to pick up or is the work ready to pick up. I am sure you will not complete on 10th day. You will ask, can you give me 2 more days? You will definitely ask this question. But if you have a DOR, you know this is the work I have to pick up. Chances are you may complete in time. Shriram, is this maturity will happen on the first time? Definitely no. Team takes at least 2-3 sprints. They say the study says 3 sprints they need to get a stable level. What is 3 sprints? 10 days, 1 sprint. Imagination. 20 days, second sprint. 30 days, third sprint. At least a team needs 1.5 months. A month is 20 days. 1.5 months a team need to stabilize. What do you mean by stabilize? They know what is DOR. They know what is DOD. They know how to estimate. They know how to deliver it on time. Until then, there'll be up, down, up, down, up, down. This is what Tuckman rule, right? Forming, storming, norming. We have to follow that. Don't expect first day will be a superstar day. If it happens, super. If not, believe it may not happen. Okay, did you got a clarity where the DOR is and where the DOD is? Did you have some visual now? You got it? Santosh in YouTube putting a question to me. Can team do changes to the DOD in the middle of the sprint? Santosh, absolutely they can do that. DOD is just a guidelines paper. It is written in a Word document. These are to be followed. Anytime you can change it, but it's a common understanding within the team. Usually it is done after retrospective. Makes sense, right? We complete 10 days. Retrospective, we find why we can't complete it on time. Why we didn't pick up the work, correct work. We discuss it and we alter the DOR, DOD if needed. But don't think it will be always altered. They will do it once in a while. 2-3 revisions will happen. Then it will stay the stable. It's all just a bullet points to be followed. Little adjustment can happen, not very heavily. Hope that helps you, Santosh. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Smitesh is putting a question. Retrospective is not part of DOD, right? DOD is just a guidelines, a small paper. Retrospective is a continuous event in the team. Every 10 days you'll meet, it's an event. DOD is a paper. Retrospective is an event. Imagine there's rules and conditions on the board, right? That's called DO, definition of done. A fire exit, there'll be a board. Don't operate lift, right? Go by steps. If you see a fire extinguisher, please use it. If a fireman comes out, give left path for them. These are rules as on the board. That's it. That's a DOD. Retrospective is an event. Every 2 weeks, we'll meet and talk what can be improved. Does it make sense? Any board you can use Swami. Swami is asking, do you or DOD a part of Kanban? This is not about Kanban, extreme programming, Scrum. It can be anything. It's only a common understanding for the team how to do this. Little alteration can be there, but this is the understanding. Keep in mind, anything you start, anything you end, have clarity. Forget everything about Agile and Scrum. In your life, are you having a DOR before you start something? Are you doing it? Just going to shower, are you having a towel and soap there? Definition of ready is there. When you conclude definition of done, everything's over, only complete and come out of the washroom, right? The simplest thing what you see around us, you have DO or DOD. For this, you don't need somebody from America to come and tell, follow 4 manifesto, 12 principles. We have it on a day-to-day life that we are trying to apply in our project as a team. Going and taking shower, you only going to do that, right? But when you apply in a project, 5-6 people going to work. How to bring 5-6 people? Same word, empowerment, shared understanding. That helps, right? Very good. Let's go. I think I'm beating more time. Let's go to understand why we do this. Okay, what is why we do this? When I say why we do this, why we have to do this, all this stuff, avoids beginning to work on unready issues, right? It's going to bring some trouble, right? Beginnings to work on unready issues. Limits the risk of misunderstanding. Of course, we'll reduce it a little bit. The probability goes down. No waste of time with the discussion about the work process. Very good. No waste of time. Efficient communication between members. When you have a clarity, of course, efficiency will be high. Stable velocity. Right after third sprint, the velocity will be stable because we know what to do. We are clear on it. Less risk of postponing. There's a biggest problem in project, postponing. You can't do it now, do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow. After that, do it next year. Who is going to pay the money? Customer going to pay the money. It's okay, do it. It won't work, right? In Agile project, it won't work. We say that, deliver it. If you can't deliver it, go throw it out. Again, start analyzing. Pretty good. That's a good shot from you all. Let's take a couple of questions. Okay, here is a question. Let's see how much you can catch up. What is this question all about? An Agile team has collaborated with the product owner to define and prioritize user stories. Well and good. However, the prior to starting work on the high priority stories, what should still they need? What they need? Start the work, what they need. Cool, right? Since I spoke about this topic, you are well connected now, or you may have already knowledge about it. But are you getting the context of it? What we are expecting here? However, the prior to starting the work, do you see this? Prior to starting the work, if you observe this, you may get more clarity. Prior to starting the work on the high priority stories, what should have a definition of ready of all stories? All stories you should have it. You should have it ready. Only then you pick it up, like cooking, like going to shower. You have that ready. Pretty good, right? Good. I'm throwing this question so that you get the context when you go to the exam, what this team is expecting from you. Now let's go to the second one. Let's see what you observe here. Tell me the keyword, what you see in this question. Started to suffer from delays and overruns due to insufficiently refined product backlog items. A number of actions can be recommended at this stage, except C. Lavanya says C. Tej says B. Tej, which one you are talking about? The new question? Previous question? Let me see YouTube. Okay. Lavanya corrected the answer. Avinash is saying I'm answer. Let me see the YouTube. You guys can put the message in the comments. D. Okay, what is the keyword you all found? If you read the question properly, they're using something called except. Except, right? So they say except, it means a number of actions you can recommend. What are the actions you can recommend? Conduct critical path analysis. It looks slightly crazy, critical path. Let's park it. Create a definition of ready for the stories. Makes sensible. Split stories into smaller stories. Makes sensible. Schedule a backlog refinement workshop with the product owner and the team. This also makes sensible. These three make sensible to reduce the delay or overruns, right? All reasonable. But they're asking except. It means something alien in the answer. Who is the alien? Alien is critical path. We don't think of critical path in agile projects. The reason is we don't have a long-term plan. When you don't have a long-term plan, I don't need to create a big network. I don't need to worry about the critical path to reach the result. I'm working in a short-term plan, but the critical path is not needed, which may be an alien. Do you think so? Do you think that's the right answer? If you think that's right, that is right. It's something like a little away from agile model. Don't think it's wrong. Many of them started talking critical path. It's old, not needed. No, predictive projects highly need of critical path. If anybody want to make a fun of predictive nature project, I'll say, man, don't. Please read the books carefully. Both are needed. Predictive, adaptive, the world needs it. Okay, one more question. Let's see. Page 348, good answer. Lavanya is pretty fast in answers. In the Scrum process, the definition of done is not created by one of the lists given below. What is the key in the question? What's the key in the question? Lavanya, why two answers? Okay. Okay. Okay, if somebody observed this, it's not created. Be careful in Agile or in PMP questions. They will trick with the word not created. So who all can participate in this? I would tell the product owner can participate, Scrum Masters can participate, right? Sponsors can, most of the time, no. Team members can participate. For what? Definition of done. I mentioned that empowerment. I have mentioned that shared understanding. Ooh, for that reason, I need these people, right? I may not need a sponsor to do that, right? If I start using the sponsor, they start dictating the team, do this, do that. But here, it's something about the team thinks that. Keep the word empowerment, shared understanding. Pretty good. Thanks, people in the YouTube answered well. Thanks for the people. Oh man, I have one more question. Maybe this is the last question, I believe. Let's see. Let's take this question. A lot of questions coming up today. Let's see your understanding. The last question. Give a try. Make a best choice out of it. Team velocity. What is velocity, Shriram? Velocity is the team's working ability. How much they completed in the last 10 days. That's velocity. 10 user stories I did. Each story 2 points, 10 into 20 points. 20 points is the velocity they take, right? So where you see that? Where you will see that? They're asking where you see that. Which document will show you? Product backlog? No, it's all the stuff for requirements. Definition of done? It's a rule. Okay, so these two are ruled out. So the competition is between these two. In these two, which one you want to vote for? Kanban board shows a list of work there, but it may not show you the velocity of how much team completed. So burn down chart is a graphical representation which shows the remaining work or the work completed by the team. So you get an idea how much the team has completed. Cool. A lot of answers in YouTube as well. I appreciate it. Superb. I believe you all got some context today, right? You got a context of what is all about. Very good job. I think I went a little 10 minutes extra. Okay. Is there any questions related to exams to help you? By the way, how was the learning today? You got some idea? Even though you learned it, was it good? Lavanya says all the revision classes are good, Shriram. Thanks, Lavanya, for participating. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for all the participation. Is there any specific questions towards examination? Let know. We'll be happy to help you. Okay. Great, great, great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks all for participating. Very good. Now, what's the expectation from you? What you do is get back to the book called Agile Practice Guide, read some content there, or go to the My Griffith book, nice book, read it. Don't Google and read too much. There are a lot of half-baked fried rice in the market. They keep writing article. Don't read their articles. Read proper printed, good author books. Okay. If you go to internet, there are good people. There are very bad people. They don't know what they write. They don't know what they read. Somewhere they read something, write something. So better go with a better qualified authors. Read their book. PMBOK is a good book. Mike Griffith is a good book. Agile Practice Guide is a wonderful book, right? Now, 7th edition has come. Lucky, go scroll down and read a lot of content. But don't get worried. You're going to get into trouble, right? It's all good books to read. Great. Thanks all for participating today. It's a great Friday. Today, PMBOK 7th edition has come out. Let's start reading it. Enjoy the version. Don't ever underestimate PMI. I'm seeing a lot of them scolding PMBOK 7th edition on the internet. It's a bad book. Don't read. I'm a little worried because PMI is a very reputed institution in the world. They always give quality content. We have to believe something and read something to understand and digest it. It will take 1 to 2 months to digest 7th edition. So don't jump with somebody's conclusion, YouTube or articles. You yourself read the content, get it. You are qualified, you have knowledge, so you can read on your own. With this, thanks for participating. Go ahead and have a good reading. Tomorrow, Saturday, we have PMP practice test, participate. Sunday, we have Agile practice test, participate. With this, thanks all for participating. We'll catch you on weekend sessions. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Shriram, Tejasvi here.
Yes, Tejas.
Okay, it was a wonderful revision session. Thanks for once again recapturing all the topics which we went through in the classes. Shriram, just one question related to the exam, because I've been seeing the user stories which you are covering this week. And also a few of the contacts which I have been involved with my friends who have taken the exam.
Which exam? PMP or ACP?
PMP. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What I understand from the success stories videos, they were saying that predictive questions were very less. Yeah, and majority of them were adaptive. So what does this mean, Shriram? Is it that everything is going to be agile based, even in the predictive sort of scenarios or question scenarios, process based? They are asking agile questions.
See, PMI is mentioned 50% adaptive, 50% predictive. Okay. When a person takes the exam, wherever you feel tough, you will feel that is what heavily asked. But if you take and analyze the question properly, it will be almost 50-50.
Okay.
So it is something like in 3 hours or 4 hours, you cannot judge PMI. Okay. PMI will always maintain the words, what they say. They will not do something wrong. Could be little more flavor will be. See, even though a predictive question will not look like predictive, they will have some flavor there. But market is slowly moving towards agile hybrid model. That's the way we are moving. Exam questions will be 50-50. Nothing to worry. You have to read the book properly because PMI says it, they will follow it.
Perfect. Right? Thanks.
Right. See, if I take 8 mathematics questions, when somebody asks me, I'll tell a lot of mathematics, but actually only 8. Out of 200, I took only 8. People think, 198 questions mathematics. Okay. So it's a human nature that which one we struggle hard, we will tell that's very heavy. So that's a nature. So that's their exam perception. So that we cannot tell it's wrong. They may be right also. But point is, PMI is mentioned 50-50. We have to trust it and read it. Okay.
Thanks, Sriram.
Fantastic. Great, guys. Have a great evening. Friday, rock the show. No pubs, no outing. Stay home. Read well. Prepare for the examination. Reach out for any queries. Thanks a lot for being here. Catch you soon on weekend session. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.